So the Sens win 6-1 over the Calgary Flames last night, and boy does it feel good to have them be on the right side of those games instead of being on the wrong side of those games. This was one of the Sens' better games also, not just because of the score, but just the way they played as well. And there were some turnovers, and in the third period things got a little bit messy. They had some turnovers, like I said. Matt Murray had to make some big saves, but other than that, I thought this was one of the Sens' most complete games this season. Start with lineup changes. So Matthew Pekka comes in finally. Instead of having Michael Haley in the lineup, Haley rightfully comes out of the lineup. And Pekka played 12:02 in this one. And again, I thought he was good despite not getting a point. He was tenacious on the puck. He skated well. He's just a much more effective player than Michael Haley. DJ Smith can't take him out next game, that's for sure. Artem Anisimov would also come into the lineup in place of the injured Derek Stepan. Stepan, like I said, had the shoulder injury last game against Montreal. So Anisimov draws in at the center ice position for him. Let's get to the scoring in this one. So 7:45 into the first period, Drake Batherson continues his hot streak, scoring his 6th of the season, assisted by Tim Stützle and Artem Anisimov, who comes into the lineup for the injured Stepan. For Batherson, that's his 6th of the season, like I mentioned. And he goes from all of a sudden just having 2 goals on the season, like literally a week ago, I think. And now it looks totally different for him in Ottawa too, because 6 goals looks a lot better than 2. And that's a 4-game goal scoring streak. That was a really nice play by Stützle to kind of pass it off the pads of David Riddick almost, who was in net for Calgary in this one. And Batherson was Johnny on the spot right there to bury home the rebound. 9:27 into the first period, a guy who you wouldn't expect to score, who's more of a stay-at-home defenseman and more noted for physical play. Erik Goodbranson scores his first of the season, assisted by Chris Tierney. For Goodbranson, he looked like vintage Erik Karlsson on that one, snapping the puck towards the net. He spells his first name the same as Erik Karlsson does. But for Goodbranson, all jokes aside, I mean, it is nice to see him get rewarded. I know I've been hard on this guy, and rightfully so at times with him turning the puck over or not. But one thing we can't say is that he's never cheated the Sens for effort, that's for sure. He's always there every night, working his butt off, despite maybe, him lacking a little bit of talent at times for sure, but he does get the goal there. So it's nice to see Goodbranson get that one. And you could tell how much that meant to him too, to get a goal as a member of his hometown team. So we go to the second period with the Sens up 2-0, and that second does not start off well for them. They're getting hemmed in a bunch, and then that leads to 1:41 into the second period. Milan Lucic scores his 5th of the season, assisted by Dylan Dubé and Chris Tanev. Lucic, I thought this guy was dead. I honestly didn't. I forgot about him almost. But no, he's still around. He's playing in Calgary now. He has 5 goals on the season. That's not bad, actually. He only had, I think, 8 or 9 all of last year. So for Lucic, maybe he's having a bit of a renaissance here in Calgary. There's a lot of jokes going around about that James Neal for Lucic trade, and Lucic is hoping to make the Oilers eat crow on that one. But still, at the price tag he comes in at, it's just not worth it to have Milan Lucic on your team. He's only a shadow of his former self at this point. And in most cases, a goal like that, with the other team pressing hard, would cause the Sens to wilt and give up a multitude of goals in short order. Well, that was not the case, as the Ottawa Senators would come right back. Connor Brown scores his 5th of the season. And this was such a typical Connor Brown goal. He's in good defensive position, staying above the puck carrier. He steals the puck. He comes in on the backhander. He blows it by Riddick, posting in. 3-1 Ottawa. And for Riddick, he didn't have much of a chance on that goal because it was a rolling puck. And the backhander, I find, is one of the most trickiest, if not the most tricky shot for a goaltender to stop. So for Riddick, like I said, no chance. 3-1 Ottawa. Well, I said there was no chance for Riddick on the Connor Brown goal, and I still stand by that. Well, Erik Brannstrom, and I love Brannstrom, he scores a goal here. What a heck of a shot from outside the blue line. But man, Riddick's got to have that if you're Calgary. Man, oh man. He lets in that goal. It's 4-1 Sens. Like I said about the Kachuk goal on Price, I'm not upset about it. I'll take it for sure. I'm so happy Brannstrom scored, but my goodness, that goal had some odor on it for Riddick. Nonetheless, I will take it, like I said. 4-1 Sens heading into the third period. And as predictable as it was, that goal would chase David Riddick. That makes way for the NHL debut of Artyom Zagadulin. That's quite an interesting name. But he comes in, never heard of the guy really, to be honest. I think I heard of him the game before just because I saw him come off the bench or something, congratulate Riddick after the win or something like that. But I really have no background of knowing about this guy. He played in the KHL. He doesn't have much of an international resume So he comes in net for the Flames to try and mop up the mess. And for Ottawa, heading into this third period up 4-1, you don't want to give the Flames life, especially with them having a goalie change. Maybe that goes to their legs. After they had a timeout after that 4-1 goal by the Sens, the Flames were really all over Ottawa for, I don't know, a 4 or 5 minute stretch before the Sens kind of found their game back again. The best way to not give them life is score some more goals, I guess you could say. So Colin White does just that. 4:55 into the third period, gets his third of the season, assisted by Nick Paul. It's 5-1 Ottawa, and man, it feels good as this is starting to lean towards a blowout in favor of the Sens. Like I mentioned earlier on, I mean, the Sens in that third period, while they played a pretty good game, I thought they were a little sloppy at times. Matt Murray had to make some really big saves. Would I like to have seen him have the Lucic goal? I mean, yeah, kind of. It was a decent shot by Lucic. You got to give him credit for that. But with that being said, though, Matt Murray I thought was really solid in that third period because Calgary did have some grade A chances. The Sens do need to manage the puck a lot better in their own end. I've been saying that for a long time now. But nonetheless, I thought they did have a pretty strong game overall in general. And that would lead to Colin White getting his second of the game, assisted by Thomas Chabot, 14:46 into the third period. That would officially salt this one away. And Chabot with a really nice pass out of the corner. White bangs it home. And while the first goal that Colin White scored in the third period, I thought Zagadulin should have had that one. It was a kind of a weak goal. I think it went off a Flames player's stick and in. This one was a really great shot by Colin White, and full marks to him for getting into prime scoring position and wiring that one home to make it 6-1. And that would be it. 6-1 the final. The Ottawa Senators win a blowout game over one of their opponents. They'll do it all again Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock against the Calgary Flames. You know the Flames are going to be motivated to come out and try and redeem themselves against an Ottawa team who maybe they felt they should have beaten. But to be honest, this is a lot more of what I expected from Ottawa. Not to be blowing out their opponents every night, but my goodness, in the month of February, they've been a ton more competitive than they were in January. I was really frustrated and upset to see how bad they were in the month of January because the way they started this season was, I think, a lot more how we would have expected them to start in October of 2019 when they had a team that was far worse on paper. And the Sens did improve on paper a lot, so it was pretty mind-boggling to see how bad they were. And everyone was saying, oh, they're a young team, but I was like, come on, they're a young team with some skill. It's not like they're just a bunch of young guys thrown into the lineup that shouldn't be in the NHL. These guys are primed and ready for the show, and to see them struggle that mightily early on was pretty disappointing, but now we're seeing more of the Ottawa Senators team that I think us as fans expected. Not a team that's going to be world beaters yet, not a team that's going to, run wild over the league, but a team that's going to, put you on notice that, yeah, we're going to be there every night and we're going to work our hardest, and you're not just going to come in here and nab an easy 2 points from us every single night. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the battle of the Kachuk brothers. Both of them were held pointless in this one. Brady had a much more quiet night, I would say, compared to his last couple of nights against Montreal. Maybe it was a bit of an emotional letdown for him, considering, he really seems to get up for those rivalry games against the Habs. But he played against his brother. I thought he played well. He wasn't bad or anything, but just a little more quiet. And, that happens sometimes. So, it is what it is. Matthew Kachuk had a few chances. I thought he was pretty quiet too. Gord Miller, the play-by-play guy, said, oh, the Kachuks have been pretty quiet so far. He said at one point in the game, but I don't expect it to stay that way for long. It did stay that way, though, kind of throughout the game, like I said. But, guys, those are my thoughts on this game. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below about the Sens and their big win, and how good does it feel to finally see them on the right side of these blowout games for once, instead of them always being blown out. So let me know all that and more in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.